gonna get spanked and not get put out the house. Yeah, guys, like, one thing that you guys need to realize is if you just come home from work and sit on the couch and say you're tired, eventually your wife will just do all the dishes and the laundry. She'll be really annoyed, but she'll do it. You don't have to do it. How do you guys feel about gender studies degrees? Anybody doing anything, like, really freaking cool with their gender studies degree? I think a lot of degrees can get made fun of. But we got a woman here, and the text overlay reads, "This is the only successful straight relationship dynamic." The only one, people. Okay, so get ready.
One kind of straight relationship dynamic that works. And this is my professional opinion. Yeah, I'm gonna flex my useless gender studies degree, okay? And that is a dynamic where the man is the more patient, tolerant, and obsessed person in the relationship. Anything else is doomed. My own straight relationship is a testament to this. And that is simply because of the way the odds are stacked in the society that we live in. I don't make the rules, I'm just observing them. Look at any healthy, long-term straight relationship that you know of and tell me that this is not the dynamic.
What part of the gender studies degree did she use? I don't think that she used her degree at all, because she's like, as a professional who has a piece of paper, I can tell you concretely that this is the only way things work because of anecdotal experience. Yeah, professional. This is just classic new age broken feminism speak. I cannot tell you how many people have repeated the shit out of this, like the sheer seven sprinkle of it all, of people saying over and over again, the only way a relationship works is if the man loves more. The man has to love more or it's not going to work. And then when you ask them, like, elaborate on that, because what? Usually all they can say is like, just look around you. It's the same with like people doubting religion, and all the person can say is like, well, just look around you. How else could it have been made? Like, it's not going to actually help someone understand this foreign concept that you're trying to like spring on us. Okay, so explain this one. If anecdotal evidence is all we need to make like a sweeping blanket statement like this, that is so tremendously, I'm just going to be honest, I'm going to call it for what it really is. Any woman who actually comes around and with the authority and audacity to say the only relationships that work are when the man loves more, the man does more, the man is more obsessed, and I know because I've seen it, what they're saying is that they truly and honestly believe that they deserve a simp and an emotional slave. They just want a man who is simple and obedient. What they're not willing to admit, the quiet part that they don't want to say out loud, is I'm actually the female version of a misogynist. Because when men say, I just want a wife who is quiet and obedient and submissive, it's misogynist, red pill, loser, incel. When a woman comes online and goes, I just want my man to be submissive and obedient and to do as I say and what I want, it's 714,000 likes, over 100,000 shares, almost 100,000 saves. That's what we get when a woman says this. And it's like that, I don't know how I would feel as a man, like, seeing this. You know what I mean? Like, I think that I could take a compliment to hear, you know, okay, yeah, I don't mind being more patient and tolerant. You know, I think that probably, you know, it's like, honestly, that's one of the games they play at most engagement parties and bridal showers, is who's the more patient one, who's the first to forgive, stuff like that. I don't think that that's a generally gender-based thing, nor should it be. I think that it's good for everybody in the relationship to be tolerant, patient, and obsessed with each other. But like, I don't know how I would feel if my partner was like, yeah, my partner is way more obsessed with me than I am them. Like, why did you have to phrase it like that? Like, why couldn't you have just said like, oh, my partner adores me, my partner treasures me? Why do you have to use my commitment and dedication to you as a flex, and also in like a weird, and just so everybody knows, I do not like him as much as he likes me kind of way. Like, I feel that I would not exactly like the phrasing of this. In fact, I think I'm going to use myself a little TJ card if he's not already gone taking the dogs on a walk. Hold on, let me see if I can use a TJ card. If not, I might call him back later. Oh my god, my legs are still so sore from running. Why can't I open this door? Okay. Can I use a TJ card? Good. Alright, everybody, TJ hates me. So, my husband literally hates me because I asked if I could use a TJ card. He looked up and said, sure. So, unfortunately, I think that TJ is breaking up with me. RIP. I believe I hear him packing up as we speak. You know, babe, that doesn't sound more obsessed with me to me. And unfortunately, a professional in gender studies said that if you're not more obsessed with me than I am with you, that it will literally never work. So I fear we just have to get divorced.
Okay, divorce-ficate now, guys.
I don't know. I guess I don't need to like have you fully pull up a chair, but I just wanted you.
No, I want to hear what this person has to say.
Yeah, so she is saying that she's a professional because she has a degree in gender studies.
For sure, that doesn't mean you're a professional, though, which just means that you have some training. There's a
Yes.
difference. I'm sorry, there's a huge difference.
And she says that what she has learned is that the only successful straight dynamic is when the man is more patient, more tolerant, and more obsessed. And that she knows this because that is her relationship dynamic.
Okay. It's just aggravating. It's like if someone just has a degree in theater. I guess to me, yeah, there's a huge difference because especially like in theater, and I'm sure like especially even in gender studies, which is an even more like specialized field that doesn't have actual jobs tied directly to that. And so it's like, I got to imagine there are plenty of people, just like when I went to school for theater, who are like going to school for it, have a degree, and never actively use it in their entire fucking life. Just because you have a degree doesn't mean you learned correctly. Doesn't mean you even learned the right shit. It just means you passed your classes. Like, that's wild.
Dude, when I pointed out, she didn't even use it. She's like, I have this degree, and then used all of her opinion based off of anecdotal evidence.
I'm so...
She didn't even quote anything that she's learned.
It's like...
She literally was just like, well, my husband's like this. And like, I guess my greater question would be like, how would you feel if I made a video saying like literally the exact same thing? Like, the only way the relationship is actually going to work is if the man is more obsessed with the woman, and I know this because it's my situation. Like, I was saying I would probably take the tolerant and patient thing, like being more tolerant and patient, as a compliment.
Yeah.
But then hearing this, because I'm like, why would you phrase it of like in a way where you're basically saying like, I don't like him as much as he likes me, and that's why it works.
That's kind of like, that's weird, because it's like, I can understand, you could, maybe she's, and again, this might be one of those things where you and I have had this experience and we've seen that it seems to be a lot of the just kidding, we're fine videos. The explanation, at least on their end, we've seen this come up a few times where it's the Inigo Montoya thing. It's like, you keep using that word. I do not think you know what it means.
He didn't fall? Inconceivable. You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
And it's like she's using the word obsessed with when maybe what she means is he's so attentive because I'm the high needs partner. I'm so this, but you just say the kindergarten sentence of he's more obsessed with me than I am with him. And you're using your credentials as going to gender studies classes and passing them as being a professional. Boy, I am a professional in a lot of fucking shit now, Lauren. I'm a professional in human anthropology. I'm a professional in Japanese. I'm a professional in French. I'm a professional in American history. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. That is like, I went to a stage combat class one time in high school. I'm a professional stage combat instructor. What the fuck are you talking about? That is insane. If we use that criteria for just because you went to medical school doesn't mean you're a fucking doctor. Just because you went to law school doesn't mean you're a lawyer. You have to take tests and get certified. Just because you got the piece of paper on your fucking wall doesn't mean you're a professional. A professional what? Gender studies talker? What the fuck is your even professional what? What are you talking about? That's the dumbest. As someone with XY chromosomes, I'm a professional. Like, what are you talking about? Just because you have it, but you're not actively implementing it. Here's joke's on you. I don't have a theater degree. I went to school for extra years, and they still audited me for one thing, but I'm still a professional because that was my only job for almost a full decade. Like, that's the fucking difference. And my co-star, the guy that I did the play with, he both had his degree and was a working professional. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's actual steps you have to make the money doing the thing to be. That's it. That's all it takes. Like, as an artist, you can be like, I'm a professional artist. You get paid $5 for your fucking caricatures out on the boardwalk. Guess what? You're a professional artist. You are making money. It becomes a profession instead of a hobby when you make money off the craft you're doing. That's literally what that's what the words are for. That's why we have the two different words, and someone's like, I'm an amateur or a professional. You could be an amateur connoisseur and be like, I'm pretty good at this, but I've never made money off of it. To me, it's like stolen valor, almost, in a way. Like, not as bad. Not as bad, don't get me wrong. Like, not as, I guess, disrespectful to the people who actually had to put their lives on lines, but stuff like that. But it's like what are you fucking talking about? This is, it's so weird because you are both being the emperor in his new clothes, but also proclaiming that you're naked at the same time. Like, what are you doing?
That is a great
Here's the thing. You could, for all we know, she might have a job like this, but you can't just say that the reason you're a professional is because you have a degree. No, the reason you're in debt is because you have a degree. I should know. I'm dealing with the same bullshit. It's like, oh man.
And you know what's so ironic, though, too, is that here she was seeking out becoming a professional in gender studies, imaginably because she cares probably about feminism and equality, and yet has used her education to hella overcorrect and become the misogynist that she has decried. Because what she's ultimately ended up doing is she no longer is saying that men and women should be equal. She's literally saying that women should be on a pedestal above men. And now she is making herself sound exactly like all of the alpha bro misogynists who are like, my wife submits to me, by saying, yeah, my husband is the one obsessed with me.
Well, it's not just that. It's
like.
The other end of the, like, this is something that I've been seeing a lot in my political algorithm, is people noticing that, especially with, I don't know how old this lady is, she might be Gen Z, like older Gen Z, younger millennial sort of thing, but it's like there seems to be this push that even starts to happen with these people who like go so far left that they like ricochet, they either ricochet over into the far right, or they just kind of go in a full circle and they're like, I'm espousing trad wife values, even though I'm actually like a hardcore feminist. Because what you're saying is exactly what the trad wives and these red pill dudes say, to where it's like, you should put me on a pedestal. That's what they're saying. Almost verbatim. Yeah. You should cherish her and put her on a pedestal, and she shouldn't have to do as much as you, or you're a failure as a man. And it's like, this is one of those, this is that meme where it's like the two people like playing a tug of war, and then one person comes to help them out, and they look over, and it's like an unlikely ally, and they're like, what the it's, you know, it's been going around a lot, like, politically lately, but it's things like the...
Yeah, dude, the red pill dudes are pulling the rope, and then this gender studies professional
comes
goes
up
and
they're
starts
like,
helping them. And
it's like, women should be put on a pedestal! And everybody's like, I think they should be more equal. And then she comes up and she's like, women should be put on a pedestal! And the dudes are looking over in their red hats, and they're like, what the fuck is going on?
Like, having no idea that as soon as they win the tug of war, they're gonna push her in the mud for having a nose ring anyway.
But that's a self-fulfilling prophecy then, if it's like just what I expected, typical guys, and it's like, if you encourage this behavior, yes, then what you are encouraging is what you should expect. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Don't shocked Pikachu face when you get what you're asking for. I'm
gonna cover a couple more absolutely terribly unhinged advices. Do you want to stick around, or do you want to go back? Because I got you out of your illustrations. I feel bad about that.
Maybe I'll come back.
Okay. You take your Dr. Pepper cream soda.
Oh.
You get back in the zone, Big Daddy. All right, what does this creator have to tell us?
Provider men do not want nice girls. They want brats. Okay, let me explain. You're a people pleaser, which means the way you're showing up in relationships is causing you to attract and stay with men who end up needing mothering. Whether it's because they're passive, avoidant, selfish, whatever the vice is, somehow this male is a dusty. And how do I know that you've been with a dusty? You are way too reasonable, way too flexible, and way too empathetic in your relationships, which is why you keep attracting men that eventually need you to become their mother. They can actually sense something in your energy that screams, oh, she'll bend for me, she'll adjust her life to me. No, 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 no. True provider men love high maintenance women, because men and women in their most natural, healed and healthy forms look like this. Men love to be of service. It gives them energy. And women look after themselves and then serve everyone only from their overflow. So in order for that to work, men have to put the woman first, the woman puts the woman first, and then together they make a happy family.
I'll let her finish, but to be clear, yes, you did just hear her say, if the man puts the woman first and the woman puts the woman first, then they will have a happy family.
So you, Miss People Pleaser, you have become afraid somewhere along the lines of being bratty, of being too much. You don't want to inconvenience people. You've been socially conditioned by your family, by society, to make sure that you are not a burden. Honey, become a burden, become a problem, because that is when you are in your natural magnetism as a woman. Now,
oh boy, I knew it was only, I should have started a counter. How long is it going to take before she says that being unreasonable, unkind, being extremely high maintenance is the only way to attain your divine feminine? I should have known that there was only a matter of mere seconds before that would be brought into play.
I'm not encouraging you to become a narcissistic loser, but because you're a people pleaser and you've overcorrected, you need to embody what feels like narcissism, what feels like brattiness. In essence, it's you just being a woman, but this is what you have to tell yourself so you can get into that energy.
Did she really just say, I'm not telling you to become a narcissist, I'm telling you to behave like a narcissist, because that's being a woman? Oh my god. We don't claim this one. I don't claim this one. That's not how we all think.
So what you're going to do is you're going to get in touch with your desires. This is the only way you're going to understand, where am I abandoning myself and how can I start becoming a brat? Get in touch with what you truly want and go for it. Expect it and go for it. Let me know in the comments if you are so ready to become a brat.
Stop this right now. Listen, of course, there are brat tamers in the world. There are men who like their women a little bit bratty, a little bit sassy. They like a little bit of a Viking woman who can hurl a chair across the room while swearing in 3 different tongues. Absolutely, that exists. But here's something that I do not want to get freaking twisted even once. One does not just become a brat. You do not go into life trying to be a brat. You either are one or you're not, okay? The ones who simply are brats are not trying to be. It's a part of their nature. As soon as you start trying to become a brat, you're just a bitch. Like, you're just an asshole. There's a difference. Not TJ coming in and standing in the doorway, silently just leaning and waiting for me to explain brattiness. Okay, we might have a little bit of brattiness in the house. Okay. It's not like this, though. It's not, brattiness does not manifest as not being reasonable,
No.
as being difficult, as only focusing on our own desire.
No, that's selfish. Being a brat is like, I don't know, kind of being like a scamp.
Yes! There's like a playful
There's a
scampiness.
playfulness to it, to where it's like,
A good brat is not actually harmful.
Exactly. It's like you are walking that line, but you're staying on the right side of it. And it's like, exactly, it's playful.
I'm looking to get punished, not divorced. Big difference, okay? We're looking to get spanked and not get put out the house. Oh my god, dude. Yeah. Look, and I'll also agree that some of us really do have really bad, unhelpful, people-pleasing natures where we do put other people's wants ahead of our own, and we do put ourselves on the back burner, and that can be really unhealthy. But I am so sick of this overcorrection where people are like, you're letting people walk all over you. You need to start being disrespectful and making incredulous demands and feeling incredibly entitled to things. Like, you don't need to, it's not like there's only two wolves inside of you, the people pleaser or the Karen, and you have to choose one. Like, that's not the situation, okay? You are allowed to acknowledge, I have people pleasing tendencies that are not serving me. All I have to do is start enabling fair boundaries and I can still be respectful and kind. Like, no, you don't have to. There is no truth to this myth that if you start being mean to men, they pay more of your bills. There is nothing reasonable to truly point to that. And even if you point to like ancillary relationships in your lives and go, well, my friend Lisa is a complete and total bitch and she's been a stay-at-home mom for her whole life and her husband pays for everything. Like, sure, maybe, but have you considered how many people stay for the kids? Like, despite being completely miserable because they know that they would have to pay more money if they left. Like, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the successful relationship. Unfortunately, you cannot measure happiness and longevity when it comes to relationships. Like, there are just a lot of fallacies that go into the whole, you have to be mean to men to get them to actually like you and take care of you idea, like strategy almost, that these women are attempting to deploy. I mean, if you guys don't believe me, I'm sure all you have to do is just read the comments on this. There's probably not many guys who are like, oh yeah, I completely agree. Like, my wife is incredibly high maintenance and expensive and I would have it no other way. And yet this is very common advice. See here.
You have to stress your husband out. Men work best under pressure. For example, the more money you spend, the more stressed he will be, the more money he will make. You're welcome.
Do you know how many women I know who end up with a man who gets really comfortable and becomes a total bum and stops paying bills? And so you know what happens is she ends up working harder to have to pay those bills because the bills have to be paid whether he is being a leech or not. This is not gender inclusive or exclusive. If one person in the relationship is not pulling their weight or being a drain on the family budget, someone else is probably going to have to work harder to keep their heads afloat. That's not like girl math, and that's not relationship advice. Those are the unfortunate facts that plenty of men and women have had to deal with in relationships where one person decides they've got this on their own. I'm gonna do my own thing. They've got it. You understand, just because he goes and makes more money, it's not a sign that like he's happy with your choices. It's not a sign that this is what he always saw his marriage being one day. He's keeping his head above water. And what's crazy is they're really gonna paint themselves as, well, I deserve this because I helped him in his career by almost giving him a heart attack, by making him so stressed that he has to earn more money. This is so far and away from the flex you girls think it is. The comments are really bad. Literally never be the woman who doesn't ask for much. I lost my job and took my time finding a new one. He went from making $40,000 to $150,000 in just over a year because of the pressure. I co-sign this message. Literally like the worst version of Reverend Dadvocate's confessional, because these people are literally coming in here and basically bragging about how they were able to successfully sit on their ass for long enough that it compelled their partner partner to pick up more of the slack. I would be pissed. Dude, if women saw men making posts like this, like, yeah, guys, like, one thing that you guys need to realize is if you just come home from work and sit on the couch and say you're tired, eventually your wife will just do all the dishes and the laundry. She'll be really annoyed, but she'll do it. You don't have to do it. Do you know how pissed women would be? And that's exactly what's happening here. Like, if you guys just stop doing things, like, he'll probably do it. Like, probably, but you're literally describing weaponized incompetence. It's always women are independent and able to do everything on our own until we don't want to. Okay, I will say this. The person who said there's no way a dude went from making 40K to 150K, it can happen. Extremely rare, but it can. I've seen it happen in my last career. Every once in a while, you would see people get insane job offers that completely changed their lives. I've seen it happen. It's possible. Michael McIntyre, 200 plus in the chat, yet not even 200 likes? Come on, people. I agree, Michael.
Michael.
I agree. How dare you guys? But seriously, throw a like on the super chat. It just helps the stream a lot. And it's free, you know?